See, this right here could work. Put a taller windshield on it. Bag to carry my books and shit. Oh, that'd be a comfy seat. That's an option. That is an option. Yeah, that'd be an option too. Too expensive. There. I gotta find some. Oh, there it is, the Bat Bike. Holy shit, there it is. This freaking thing is so cool. Oh, I love this thing. Oh, it's so cool. It's like the Batmobile on a motorcycle. I sat on one of these in the showroom. It's like the most comfortable thing ever. Mondito, you need this thing. Forget all the other cruiserness. You're an anime guy. This bike has your name all over it. It's so cool. I think these open up and you could put like little actuators and have paintball barrels come up out of it. How freaking cool would that be? It's so cool. What's going on, everybody? So I am on my way, well, I guess not home, but I'm leaving school. Just wrapped up my History 2 class for the day. A lot of you know I was a welding major. I didn't sign up to be a welding major because I wanted to get a degree in welding. I signed up because I wanted to take the welding classes, and it's next to impossible to get into the welding classes if you're not on the degree track, so that's why I did that. But I've finished up the welding classes that I wanted to take. So, you know, but I've decided I do want to pursue a degree. I really enjoyed my History 1 class. It's something I've always found interesting. So I'm taking History 2 right now, and I'm converting over to an anthropology degree. My other class I'm taking this semester is physical anthropology. Anyway, so, you know, at a community college, you can only get a 2-year degree, and man, associate's degrees, I'm not going to knock people with an associate's degree. An associate's degree is, hey, that's fantastic that you put the time in to get a degree. The unfortunate reality is an associate's degree doesn't really mean a whole lot in terms of doing something with it down the road. And I think I'd like to, so I am going to go for a 4-year degree. I talked to the counselor about transferring, and the 2 schools I'm looking at would either be UT, which is not very far, it's just downtown in Austin, but it's expensive, or Texas State, which is a good bit cheaper, but is in San Marcos, which with traffic and shit, it's about an hour away. So, you know, I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to Texas State. I don't know. I don't really have a good reason. Well, I do kind of have a good reason. So the approximate price difference between the schools, I can buy another motorcycle. Now, I'm not going to stop riding a supermoto, so, you know, I'm not going to get rid of the supermoto. But I can buy another motorcycle that'll be more highway friendly and still go to Texas State and save money over what UT would cost. Now, I'm not going to budget a whole lot of money for this bike. I'm looking at a budget of around $3 grand, maybe $3,500 to buy the bike I want. And I want to stick with something like, I don't know, an SV650 or maybe I'd love to get an FZ6. From what I understand, I don't know if this is true or not, from what I understand, it's basically take the idea of an SV, which is kind of looks like a sport bike, but it's a little more relaxed in its tendencies and how it rides and its riding position. But from what I understand, it's that with an R6 motor. So it's still going to be pretty darn darn fast. You know what though? I don't really need a rocket ship, so an SV650 would probably be fine too. Whatever I get, either of those, I'm gonna get hard bags for the back, and you know, a good comfy seat, a taller windshield, all the creature comforts to make it a nice bike to ride for, you know, maybe 2 hours a day in some traffic. I'm also considering, and I'm getting to the point of why I'm making this vlog, I'm also considering changing the gearing on my DRZ, so stock gearing on the DRZ is 15 in the front, 41 in the back. I'm considering changing to a 16 in the front and like a 37 in the back. That would really bring the highway RPM down. I could get something like a seat concept seat, and there are a few companies that make a little windscreen, and I think I can make it a fairly comfortable highway bike. I don't know. That I don't think would be ideal, but it's an option. And if I do that, then I know my wife won't have any, you know, additional problem with me buying the bike I really want, which I want to make a supermoto from a 2014 YZ450F. Although now I'm kind of considering doing the same thing, but with a KTM 300 two-stroke. And I'll make a whole video about why I'm looking at that as well later. But so what I really want is I want some feedback from you guys. Now, keep in mind before you give me any feedback, I am budgeting $3,000 to $3,500. So before you suggest going out and buying a V-Strom or buying an R1 or something crazy, you can't buy any of those bikes for my budget, and I'm not upping the budget. Okay, this is, you know, I've been kind of talking about it, and you know, one of the Spy versus Spy guys was like, oh, you know, you got to buy a first gen Z1000 because you'll hate the SV. You're never going to want to ride it outside of commuting. And I get what he's saying, but I kind of don't really care about riding it outside of commuting. Outside of commuting, I'm going to be on a supermoto. You know, supermotos are what I love. I'm a dirt bike guy. I've never been a street bike guy. I've always been a dirt bike guy. So outside of commuting and long trips, I don't really care about, you know, whatever bike I'm getting. So cheap and comfortable to ride, you know. I want something that can do 80 without breaking a sweat. You know, you can do 80 on a DRZ, it just kind of sucks. You're revving the piss out of it. Although, you know, if I went to like 1638 in the gearing, that would probably be a lot better. Still, I don't really think that's what I want to do. So what I want from you guys is some suggestions. Like I said, I'm looking at SV650, you know, FZ6, maybe a Ninja 650, not the ZX, but the regular Ninja. Something along those lines. I do have a couple wild card bikes. I'm going to look at what the market is like on used V-Stroms. I'm also going to look at what the market is like at that time on 2013 and newer KLR 650s, because in the middle of the 2013 model year, they cleared up a lot of little dumb issues with the KLR 650. They made the suspension a lot nicer. I believe the fairing actually blocks a little more wind. I know it's a good bike for highway. Here's an SV right here. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, there's a KLR right there too. Where do I want to park? I'm gonna park right here. Anyway, guys, so, you know, let me know what you think. Leave me some feedback, and again, please don't be like, oh, you know, you gotta buy this bike, and it's like a $6,000-7,000 bike, because that's past what I want to spend. You know, if I'm gonna spend 10 grand on a bike or 9 grand on a bike, it's gonna be for my YZ450 Supermoto. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta go in here and get an oil filter. Hey, that NC700 is kind of a nice bike too. I don't know, we'll see. This is like a year and a half off, so I'll talk to everybody later. Mulch. Okay, so that was really strange. Understatement.